It is here, so why don't you and we go upstairs in the studio. Let's open this bad boy up, see what it looks like. Thanks to every one of you guys who have supported this channel. I appreciate you. So this all started back in 2010, June 2010. I had this little flip camera. I don't know if you remember those, but it's like this little white camcorder, and I just put it on the TV stand and just filmed myself playing and singing this song I had just written. Clearly, I knew nothing about sound quality or lighting, but I started then recording myself just playing some random riffs and mainly just sending it to my buddies Tom and Eddie, two very close friends of mine that I was in a band with called The Guys back in Pensacola, Florida. This is back in like the mid to late 90s. So I was just sharing stuff with them. Well, that eventually rolled into me just sharing what I'm writing on YouTube in general and how I played it. Now, around this time, I had just gotten into the world of software recording, which was brand new, and man, talk about frustrating. Like, I'm over 50 now, and again, this is back 2010, do the math, my age, but that was all new to me, and I was used to the old school way of recording, which old school to me was like the digital. I had this, I think it was a Fostex DMT-8, this digital 8 or 12 track, can't quite remember what it was, but I was used to just pressing buttons on that thing and recording my stuff, right? So I'm diving into software recording, into plugins. Actually, I still have the very first interface that I got here. This is a PreSonus. But in any case, I was diving into that world. I got the Pod XT Live, then the Pod HD500. So many of you who have been following me for that long, thank you by the way, you remember all those videos that I was making. I was just started making all these tutorials, and it was fun. I was having a great time with it, and I was starting to write more riffs, you know, getting into recording. Eventually I nailed this down and started recording stuff, and this is where like the birth of my very first album, Apocalyptic Dreams, came from this little session. Around the time I started my YouTube channel, I had just dove into software recording, and in I think 2013 is when I released that album. Of course, that was way later, but going back to 2010, YouTube channel started June 2010. With that said, around that same time, I was also blogging, and I just started doing videos for the Muscle Program, which is a site that I created, a muscle building and fitness site that I created. So I had a lot of stuff going on at that time. I had music, I'm just learning how to record. I just started this YouTube channel. I had the muscleprogram.com. I also had a YouTube channel for that, along with a corporate job, along with, well, my wife and I, we were kind of new at the time. Of course, she supported the ventures. She really thought it was great. Actually, she's the one that pushed me to get on YouTube. So, babe, thank you for that. But with so much going on, here's the problem. Nothing got 100% of the attention that it deserved. To me, multitasking, that's just a joke. Now, there may be a small percentage of people in the world that can do a bunch of stuff and be successful at all those things and blossom or whatever. I'm not one of those people. I know that about myself. So that's kind of a hang up that I think that really held me back. I didn't see that at the time, but being where I'm at now and just looking back at the past, I can see clearly that I was trying to do too many things at one time. Had I stuck with just one thing, I could have really built something, because I had all these little micro successes here and there, like the Muscle Program that made some extra dough a couple years in a row, and I'm like, oh, this is going really well. This is something, and then it started going downhill and up and down and whatever. And of course, I'm doing YouTube here for music and for both channels, blah, 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 just way too much, right? So what I didn't realize about YouTube, I didn't realize it was something that I needed to take serious at that time. You know, I was putting these videos out and they were getting attention. Like, I think two of my biggest videos back then was one, my home recording studio setup that I had in our apartment. My wife was cool enough to let me use the living room for my little studio area, but that video, my home recording studio setup, that got a lot of views. And then there was another video that got a lot of views as well. I think it was my video on speed picking, if I remember. That video started really trending at some point down the road. But I had all these videos. I really wasn't paying attention to analytics or anything like that. But after that, I had a period where I kind of just, I didn't really let it go, but I sort of let it go. it was everything just all at once was just too much, guys. And again, I don't know if you're like me, but me, if there's too much going on, I just kind of like flatline. I'm like, kind of throw my hands up and like screw everything, instead of like honing in on one thing, which I think I'm a lot better at that these days, I hope anyway. But at that time, I'm like, this is just too much. I had a corporate job, working a lot of hours. I didn't want to sacrifice a whole lot of time away from my wife and I doing things together because we've always been very close, still are to this day. So I was never going to let anything impact our relationship. But on top of that, though, trying to do this, trying to do that, and putting all the work and the hours into those things and not seeing results, after a while, you just get kind of bummed. You're like, I'm just either A, gonna quit, or I'm just gonna put stuff out when I feel like it. And that's kind of where I was. So let's fast forward, June 2010 to June 2020. At that time, I had reached about 10,000 subscribers. Hey, pretty cool, not too bad, but of course I was seeing so many other channels that were much newer than mine just blast right past me. I think people like Ben Eller and Ola England, I think those guys probably started after me, and of course, they've got hundreds of thousands, maybe even close to 1 million subs, and there are several others. I'm thinking, okay, is this thing even really worth it? And here I am already starting to compare myself to other people, which we're going to get to that in a second. But I was kind of bummed out by that. And I watch their channels, and I think they're great channels, phenomenal channels. And I saw these other channels come up that were a lot newer than mine, just blowing right past me, getting thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So I was kind of bummed by that. I was happy for the channels. I mean, there's some great channels that came out of that beginning era. But I was like, okay, I'm obviously not doing something right. Probably wasn't doing enough because I was sort of like back and forth on YouTube. I really wasn't all in, if that makes sense. But after 2020, everything changed. Like, it seemed like overnight. So I had put out a video sometime in 2019. It was called Metal Guitar for Beginners. 6 things or 6 techniques you must know. And look, it's not the best quality video because I still don't think I had professional sound. I think I was just using the mic on the camera at that time. I'm not even sure if I had good lighting. My wife bought me professional lighting later, which is what we're using right now. Much, much better, right? But anyway, this video, just YouTube, the gods of YouTube decide to push this forward, and my channel took off. It doubled in size within about 8 months. So go from like June 2010 to 2020, 10K subs. Then 8 months later, I've got 20,000 subs. Then that following year, maybe another 8 or 9 months, the channel doubled again. And at some point, it kind of went up, 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 and then it started like leveling out. But yeah, here we are in 2025. Over 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, I'm very happy about that, very thankful for that. And of course, around that time, I was starting to take YouTube a bit more seriously. I was like, I really want to make some helpful tutorials. I'll tell you, one of the things that helped me is reading the comments that you guys put out there. When I see that a video helps somebody, or I see someone getting on, it's like, you inspired me to pick up my guitar after laying it down 10, 20, 30 years ago. Or, sometimes I get like 50, 60, 70-year-old people on here saying, you know what, I always wanted to play guitar, but life, family, all that stuff, but now I'm at a point where I want to learn, and your video, it inspired me to pick it up. Or some of you younger folks out there too. There's no age limitation here. I've got all kind of folks on here watching that find my videos to be helpful. So I am grateful for you, and that's what drives me to put out more content and put out things that are going to help people. I know my teaching style is a little bit different from probably most guitar players. My goal has always been to make something that's seemingly complex, to break it down and just simplify it for you. So I hope I'm still doing a good job at that for you guys. That's sort of the YouTube journey there, the short version of it. We could talk about that on and on. But a couple things I want to share with you real quick, a couple things to encourage you. Number one, this is something I encourage you not to do. And I've talked about this before. I've talked about this many times on the channel and lessons and such. But please do not compare yourself to other people. I have fallen into this trap so many times. I think it might be a little natural for us musicians to do that. And of course, me coming from like the weightlifting world, I've never been like a pro bodybuilder or anything like that, but it's still coming from that space, and then coming from the music world. It's so easy to look at people that seem like they're light years ahead of us and say that, okay, well, I'm never going to reach that level. I mean, this person's just shredding up and down the neck, you know. Yeah, I can do this. I'm good at this, good at that, or whatever. But that's just like, same thing in the weightlifting world. I think I talked about this on my video when I turned 50. I put that out in May, and I was sharing some things about comparing yourself to others. Same thing in the gym, see some dude that's just like super jacked and super ripped and like, twice my size. Like, okay, well, sometimes that can make you just want to throw in the towel. Now, of course, I never did that on any of those, but to say that I have not let that get me down at times, seeing channels just blow past mine, seeing a channel that maybe started 6 months ago, this like into hundreds of thousands now, it's like, man, what did they do, But you can take things from people, take things that they're doing that may be working for them, and see if you can apply those strategies to what you're doing. But it doesn't always mean it'll work. I don't have the answer as to why some things take off and some things don't. All I know is that if you're consistent with something for long enough, this is going to sound kind of loopy here, but you almost force the universe to work in your favor, at least a little bit anyway. And hey, I'll take it. If the universe is in my favor for something and I'm just pushing and pushing, I'll take that. Now, on the flip side of that, I've also learned something too. I've also learned to sort of tame my work or tame my workload and the things that I choose to work on. If we back up, I was working on a lot of stuff. Not one thing was getting 100%. And this is a hard lesson I learned over the years, and I'm still learning it today, if I'm honest. I mean, I've got like a notepad over here. I keep a notepad back here, and I've got stuff written down that I want to be working on, all music related. So we're all in the one, genre, if you will, of music. But there's just so many things, and like I'm already finding myself getting overwhelmed. So you have to kind of like step back and say, okay, well, what's the one thing that's most important on here? That's most important to me that I really want to get out and work on right now? What's that one thing? And just work on that one thing. The other stuff can come later. Or if you're like me, this is a business to me as well. This is how I make my living. Not necessarily YouTube, but you guys know my Guitar Academy, the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy, my music, my live shows. I promote some products here and there. So this is my livelihood now. So I kind of have to also look at like what's really going to move the needle forward today. What do I need to work on right now that's, we're going to pay the mortgage next month, you know what I mean? So the priorities have to be what's that one thing that you really need to focus on and put all your energy into that. It doesn't mean you can't do the other stuff. You can do that. But pour your energy into the one thing that truly needs your utmost 100% attention right now. In doing that sort of alleviates the whole comparison thing that I was talking about just a second ago. And I want to just revisit that for a second because I think it's important. I think we all do that. And some of us do it more than others. I probably have done it a lot more than most people. But I just want to encourage you not to do that. Please don't do that. Be okay with where you're at right now as long as you're doing everything you can to grow and to get better. Okay? Realize that you might not ever play like this person over here or that person over there. You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters most, and a lot of you know exactly what I'm about to say, is developing your own style. What matters most is, are you playing the style that you want? Is what's coming out of your music, your guitar, your voice, or whatever, is that what you truly want? Is it what's truly inside? It's not always about, well, I need to play a gazillion notes per millisecond. Okay, it's not always about that. And for me these days, I mean, yeah, I play fast all the time, but in the back of my head, it's like, I really don't care about that so much. I really want people to embrace the riff or the song, the overall thing that I'm doing, more so than, oh, he can shred, he can play fast. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but focus more on developing your own style. And that's part of what I do, of course, in my Guitar Academy and my YouTube videos here. That's my theme. That's what I do. I want to help you develop your own style so that you don't compare yourself to other people. And I was thinking about this when I was training this morning. I was in the gym, chest and tries day, Monday International Chest Day, right? My days kind of change from time to time, but I was thinking about this. I'm over 50 years old now. It's like, it's not about comparing myself to other people. I don't even know that it's about trying to compare myself to myself anymore. You know, the battle's you against you, that sort of thing. But I'm more so battling against time. As you start getting up there in age, I know some of you will say, Jason, you're still a youngster, man. But you know, things, I don't know, things mentally sort of like trigger when you pass a certain age. You probably felt this at 21. You maybe felt it at 30 or 40. Well, I'm at the 50 mark now. So your mind starts thinking about time. Now, I don't have time to compare myself to someone else. I don't know that I have time to compare myself to me. I'm battling against a force that's is going to take me at some point. So I think about that now more than ever. And it's like, you know, I really just want to put some good stuff out there to the world. I want to put stuff out there to help you guys on guitar, to encourage you. I want to put more music out there because that's just my passion. It's my love. It's what I do. I'm always going to write, and I haven't written near as much over the years as I have aspired to. So that's about to change. One last thing, and this is something I want to encourage you to do, is really just focus on your own personal style, your own unique way of presenting things, whether it's music, whether it's in your writing, whether it's how you speak to people. Be kind, for one. I'll just say that across the board. Please be kind. You never know what people are going through. And being kind is the easiest thing you can do. Even if someone gets upset at you for something, just be kind, you know. I'm at the point now, and I don't really get in arguments with anyone, but if I were to get in an argument with someone, or sometimes people leave, you know, nasty comments or whatever, you're just going to get those, right? I've gotten to the point, and I've said this before, and I'll quote myself here, is, you're right, I'm wrong, now move along. I'm not going to let that sticky booger stay on my finger. Just go. You're better than me, you're stronger, you're faster, you're right, whatever. Go do your thing. I'm going to continue to do my thing. So I'm going to ask that you maybe adapt a little bit of that concept, of that philosophy. Just do your thing. You know, be yourself. Be your unique self. You have a purpose. You have a very special and unique way of doing things, of presenting things. You have your own personality, and give yourself the freedom to be you. Give yourself the freedom to just be yourself. And this sort of helps eliminate that whole comparing yourself to other people, because you are you and no one can be you, right? No one can be that version of yourself that you are right now. No one can touch that. So just be yourself. Now, on top of that, allow yourself to grow. I'll say this one last thing, you know, don't be so caught up in yourself, well, I'm just my own person, just going to be me, that you put like a glass ceiling over yourself to where you can't grow because you're so stubborn, you're just going to be you. Allow yourself that growth. Allow yourself to make changes in your life. That might mean you drop certain habits and pick up new ones. It might mean you start working out today. Go to the gym now. Jason said so. No, but seriously, it might mean you start doing some things in your life that's like, you know what? I know I need to do this, or do more of this, or do less of this. Allow yourself that freedom to make those changes throughout your life. And that's still going to be the unique version of yourself, just a better version. So that's my little journey of YouTube here. I wanted to share with you guys, and of course some other encouraging words, which I hope helps you. But yeah, guys, thank you once again for this. I appreciate you. I am going to hang this on my wall. I'm thinking of changing my posters around. I've had the Master of Puppets poster up for so long. I mean, it's just one of the albums that got me into metal, so I've kind of hung it up there. But I'm looking to maybe get some of my local bands up here too soon. So those folks, I'll be talking to you more. But yeah, anyway, that's going to go up on the wall somewhere here, guys. I'm very proud of this and very grateful for it. So thank you, guys. As always, until the next video, keep it metal and keep playing music, guys.